Join the Craig Leavitt Show Sunday evenings from 7 to 8 p.m. on 50,000 Watt News Talk 720 KDWN. The Craig Leavitt Hour will be about living the American dream and empowering the American spirit. Sundays, 7 to 8 p.m.
Hey, this is Craig Leavitt. Welcome to the Craig Leavitt Show. This is our first attempt at our worldwide internet radio broadcast. To have, of course, with me here today, Chris Finnegan.
Nice to be here.
We had a lot of fun last night on the KDWN show, and we had some friends call us from California, from Victorville and the surrounding area. It was fun. Immediately, you and your friends, it was fun to listen to you. Hope you're with us this morning, and I hope you told some friends to join you as well. We did have fun last night. We happened to be broadcasting this morning from Mesquite, Nevada. Most of you, I'm sure, have bumped into Mesquite as you traveled northward, or westward and northward. But it's a great little place to be. We're happy to be here today. We're promoting Mesquite, for this coming week. And we're going to have some places recommendations for places to come up here and eat, because they have some fabulous restaurants here.
They do.
They have fabulous just about everything. And so if you're in Utah today, it's raining and snowing and colder than a well digger's parakeet. And so come to Mesquite. If you've got some time this afternoon, it is absolutely gorgeous here today. And enjoy Mesquite, Nevada. Christopher is the brains behind what we're doing today. We have a great listening audience on Sunday evenings on KDWN, 720 on your AM dial. And now we're bringing our message to you Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. right here on the Craig Leavitt Show. Christopher, as I talked about last night, is the one that has put all this together. And I'm going to give him just a second to update you on how you can call in or how you can contact us during the shows and how you can participate and be part of what we're doing. Go ahead, Christopher.
So if you're listening, obviously you found our website. There's a little thing that comes up when we're on that says live. So if you'll just click the play button when it says live, you must have figured that out by now, but just to reinforce that, that's all you got to do. If at some point you come onto one of our shows and it doesn't say that, and it should, just refresh the page and you'll be good to go.
Now, if somebody wants to call in or participate in the discussion and maybe not call in because they're not in a situation where they can call in, how can they reach us?
Well, if they want to call in, they can call us at 775-238-3792. It's on our website at thecraigleavittshow.com. That's TheCraigLeavittshow.com. And click on that link, and it'll patch them through. If they got Skype or Google, they can also send us a tweet on Twitter. They can send us a message on Facebook. There's lots of ways to get in contact with us.
Don't you think the guys that came up with tweet and Twitter and whatever it is could have come up with something else, like Minabird? I mean, whatever. I get them all confused. That's why Christopher does everything that he does, and we're grateful to have him do it. Today's a great day. It's a Monday. It's the day before elections, and while we're not politically motivated, we're certainly not partisan, but we talk about what people talk about, and I suspect that today many of you out there are talking about tomorrow's congressional and statewide races. And so it's only natural that perhaps we encourage you to get out and vote. I think voting is the greatest privilege that free people have, because when they go out and vote, or when you go out and vote, you select the people who make the laws and govern us. And I'll tell you, Chris, something that just never fails to rock me The day after the election, all the people that were elected are somehow incompetent and incapable. And immediately, the boo birds begin. And we go through this cycle of incompetent government. And if you don't vote, by the way, if you don't go to the polls tomorrow and vote, you just need to shut up because you got nothing to say because you didn't go out and say it when you had a chance. But it's tough. Having 50 states, each of the states have different issues.
Yeah, that's true.
They have different problems.
Yeah.
And they need government help.
Yeah.
Now, I have a little problem with California. I've got great friends in California, don't get me wrong, but there's a drought out there, folks. I mean, it is drier than Chris's sense of humor. It's about to become the national potato chip out there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And some people are blaming the government for the drought. And they want the government to do something to ease the problem. Now, I've said this many times. I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree. But I've been thinking about this, and I think, folks, there's nobody on earth you can elect that can solve problems with the climate. Now, I maybe you can write in some of the divine powers, and they get elected, and they have a responsibility to cause it to rain. But there's only so much government can do. And over the past several years, have you folks noticed this? Over the past several years, to get elected, our representatives make promises that even deity wouldn't touch. I mean, to get your vote, they say, well, we promise you this and we promise you that. We're going to do all kinds of fun things. And we're going to make life better. And we're going to, I guess, try to minimize the riches in this country so that we can build up, those that don't have it. Well, we elect these people to represent us both on a state and local level and then, on a national level. And are you ready for this? Hey, if you're eating donuts or something, put them down because this is really important. And I hope you have a pencil and paper because like every other show we do, we got good stuff.
We do.
We got good stuff. And here's the point I'm going to make. By your casting your vote or by your not casting your vote, you decide what promises we're going to fall for. Can I be specific?
Please.
Years ago, when John Kennedy was running against Richard Nixon, he began dividing the country into small interest groups, whether they were racial or gender specific, whatever. And then he would appeal to promises for those specific groups. Now, old General Eisenhower, who was the president before Kennedy, realized that he was running a nation and that everything had to be across the board to be just and equitable. But since Kennedy, every politician has been promising women will be treated better. Women will have the same rights, the same equal opportunities, the same everything that men have. And women will even be looked at favorably, well, in jobs, if they sought positions. And so they came up with Title IX. And of course, women got as much money in college and high school for sports as the boys. And in order to get into law school, for example, or graduate school, a woman did not have to meet the same standards that the boys did. Yeah. Okay, here it is, 2014. And the promises that have been poured out for women, let me tell you, nothing's different. Now, don't turn off your machine. Think through this thing with me. Nothing's different.
Yeah.
Are women still paid as much as men for doing the same job? Let me hear everybody say, no. Are women treated equally anywhere in the United States compared to their counterpart males?
No.
How? But still these promises go on and on and on until we as an American people have bought into the whole thing. We say, if we elect this guy, there's going to be a change. Okay, folks, all right. How many of you have heard a politician, or in the plural, politicians say, elect me, and there's going to be a change. There's going to be a real change. Nothing's going to change. And you know why? Do you know why nothing's going to change? Give me a shot, Chris.
Because we got the same politicians we've always had.
The system is in place. And that was a great, great point, Christopher. The system is the system. Here's a little history lesson. I love history. Number one, because I've lived so much of it, that history in my lifetime is just simply reminiscing. We're just going back and thinking about things. George Washington, our first president. Remember him? I do. See? John Adams, our first vice president. Now, they were elected in a special way according to how the Constitution sets out how to elect the president and vice president. And they had a tough job because they had no one to look back toward for an example. Well, what do I do now? I mean, when John Adams, of course, the vice president is the president of the Senate. So when he went in for the very first meeting of Congress and the first sitting of the Senate, he really thought his position was important. He was the president of the Senate, and he thought that gave him certain dictatorial or leadership values that okay, everybody, listen to me, I'm the president of the Senate. Well, then, as now, nobody cared that he was the president of the Senate. He was the guy that hit the gavel, called the Senate to order, had somebody say a prayer, and then turned it over, to the senators to debate.
Yeah.
Now, George Washington, in his second, his farewell speech, okay, in his second term, farewell speech, saying goodbye to the country, said the worst thing that could ever happen in America is political parties. Because, see, that's how the government works in Great Britain. And he said, if you get political parties, you'll have the same kind of gridlock, same kind of problems that they have in Great Britain, and nothing will ever get done. Hello? Does that ring a bell with anybody out there? Nothing's ever going to get done. So George Washington and John Adams hated the idea. Even the idea of competing political parties. When James Madison helped write the Federalist Papers, and that was back when he was trying to convince people in the states that they should ratify the Constitution. He said, and I think it's in Federalist Papers number 8, I think. I got to think about this. But, it says specifically that while there will be people who will group together called factions, you couldn't do anything about that. People are going to talk things over and agree with each other or disagree. That's just kind of human nature.
Yeah.
But he said they have to be controlled. And he said, because if factions take over, then we no longer are a republic.
Yeah.
In fact, some people call it rule by the parties, which is, are you ready for this? This is a cool word. Write this one down. Oligarchy. And so George Washington and John Adams were afraid of that.
Yeah.
Now, there were two other guys who didn't like the idea of a republic. They wanted political parties. Does anybody want to venture a guess as to who those two people were? All right. The first one was Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton believed that in order for our country to survive, not our republic anymore, say, for our country to survive, we had to have a strong federal government. Hello, that sound familiar? Anybody out there? Okay, and that the states should be, as the Constitution had dictated, subject to the federal government. Now, the other guy, he was kind of a famous guy. His name was Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson was for a weak federal government in the sense that the states' rights and individual rights were actually superior to the rights of the federal government. Yes, we needed a federal government to take care of some of the things that needed to be taken care of on a federal basis, but beyond that, the states' rights and the rights of the individuals should be held supreme. Not bad ideas, Christopher.
No, not bad at all.
Not bad ideas, but they weren't what the Constitution had set out.
Yeah.
So if you folks want to have a little history lesson, read the Constitution. You will find nothing in the Constitution, Articles 1, 2, or 3, that permit political parties. Nothing. But in the election of 1804, political parties actually began to play an incredibly important role. And since then, politics in America, whether on a state, local level, school board, dog catcher, mayor, doesn't matter. All of those have been aligned with a particular line of thought. It used to be that the Republicans, started from Alexander Hamilton, were in charge of making certain that the federal government was strong and that the federal government dictated to the states, because the Constitution kind of alludes to that a little bit, dictated to the states what they were allowed to do, supporting and upholding the Constitution. Of course, the other party, who became liberal, said, no, we've got to explore ways that we can make the people happier, do different things so that we protect their rights. And that's how we got the two-party system. And now it's multi-party, because, you get enough people together, you got a party. and whether you're a green tea party, or whether you are the American Farmers Union Party, or the Democratic Party, or some other party, the Republican Party, or whether you are an ultra-conservative, a medium ultra-conservative, a conservative, or a stinking moderate, or you are a radical liberal, and semi-radical liberal, a liberal, or a stinking middle-of-the-road guy. And so the politicians of our day have to consider all these, and then you got women, and then you got different ethnic, groups, and then you've got labor, and then you've got people who, okay, are y'all ready for this? Because if you are, great. If you're not, get ready. We even have people now who think that living the American dream is immoral. And so if anybody has actually lived the American dream or empowered the American spirit, they should be punished.
Makes no sense to me.
Not me either. But it makes sense to a whole bunch of people. And so you got people over here on the economic spectrum, who are as poor as church mice. And they hear, what's his name? in his campaign say, you know, what we have to do is these people who are, guys, write this down. People who are successful and who have a lot of money should have a pretty large portion of that money pulled from them and given to the people who sit at home on the couch all day long doing nothing so that they can get a new couch.
Yep, exactly.
From which they can sit and do nothing. So that's how our American political system works. And everybody looks to the government. Remember when the Democrats held their convention, the last time around, and Michelle Obama. Nothing against Michelle Obama. Don't all you women stand up and close your ears and go running into the bathroom and shut the door. Okay? Because I'm not against women. I married one. So, and I got 5 daughters. What is wrong with me? Anyway, Michelle Obama stood at the podium there at the Democratic National Convention, and she said, I get the chicken pox every time. Anyway, she said, everything that is good in America comes from the government.
That's a shocking statement.
Oh, but the next one's worse. Then she said, and everything that is good in the government comes from Barack Obama. So you know what I did, folks? I'm not going to call our First Lady, wacko or nuts or, trying to deceive and dissuade us.
But apparently she can.
Well, yeah. So you know what I did? I carry in my little book that I have all my credit cards and everything in, I carry a copy of the Constitution. I'm not a radical. I read the doctrine. I read the Constitution, understand its doctrines, understand its dynamics. I read it frequently. I read it about the same amount of time as I read my scriptures, and I do that every day. And I read the entire Constitution and all of the amendments. And it doesn't say anywhere that everything that is good in America comes from the government. It doesn't say it in the Constitution. What it alludes to in the Constitution is that everything that's good in America comes from the people. Wow. There's a novel thought. Where have I heard that before?
It's vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it says at the very beginning of the Constitution, this is so cool. Are you people bored? Because if you are, I'll change. But it says at the beginning of the Constitution, and it doesn't matter whether you're a conservative, a moderate, a liberal, a radical, doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum, the Constitution is across the board. It belongs to everybody. So it doesn't just belong to Rand Paul or Sarah Palin or some of the radical group. It doesn't belong to them. It includes them, but it doesn't belong to them. And it's not the property of the ultra-liberals or the liberals. Begins by saying, are you saying it out there? Are you people already out there listening? You're already saying, yeah, it's in the preamble, and it says what? We, the people of the United States. And then it tells you all these neat things, and then it says, ordain and establish this Constitution. Now, it didn't say, we the lawyers, we the judiciary, and I got to tell you, the American and the state bar associations have just about painted themselves into a picture where they can control everything. How sick would that be? It doesn't say we the judges. It doesn't say we the men of the United States of America. It doesn't say we the white people of the United States of America. And it doesn't say we the women.
That's true, it doesn't.
Unless it's changed, and I just got my new Constitution book, a couple of days ago, put it in my wallet. Doesn't say that. What does it say, folks? It says, we the people.
We the people.
I'm having fun with this. You folks having fun with this? Because I got one more I want to do you with. Do you know what's funny? Is when I hear people say, we need term limits. Term limits is what we need, term limits. Got to have term limits. And I hear politicians say, we got to have term limits. And I hear people say, we got to have term limits. People, read the stinking Constitution. It has term limits. Are you there? Oh, you need to go to the bathroom, get a sandwich, something. This is a good time to break. In 6 years, our founding fathers decided, 6 years, we could throw out the old and bring in the new and save our republic. Dudes! People who cry for term limits are simply saying, we don't have the political power to get our own people out to vote, so we want you to limit those who can. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Christopher?
Well, that's an interesting take on it. I mean, I haven't heard anyone really talk in that way before, but I agree with you.
Term limits. Every congressional seat, that's the House of Representatives, Congress of the United States, House of Representatives, every seat is up every 2 years. So people across the whole United States, got to tell you something, if you don't like your congressman or woman, you don't like Nancy Pelosi, you don't like, somebody else, you just go vote her out.
Yeah.
Or vote him out every 2 years. Don't need congressional term limits. You just got to get people off the couch to do what?
Go out and vote.
Yeah. Wow, that's a novel idea. And then the Senate. There's a term limit for senators. The only people who want to put term limits on senators are those that can't get their own senator elected because they can't get the vote out. Got to hand it to the Democrats. They know how to get the vote out. You know how they do that? They make promises they have no intention or way to fulfill. But every Senate seat is up every 6 years. And they alternate. So that 1/3 of the Senate changes 1 year. 2 years later, the other third. 2 years later, the other third. Guys, we got term limits. And how about this one? True, the Constitution says elect the president every 4 years. Well, there's a crazy idea. So they elected Franklin Roosevelt 4 times, and the people who couldn't get the vote out to beat him in an election said, well, I think what we ought to do is put a term limit of 2 terms for the president. That's because the Republicans couldn't come up with a candidate that could beat the guy. Well, that's what the Constitution had in mind. I mean, that's what the Founding Fathers thought about. Is, hey, if they want to keep electing the guy, let them keep doing it. We'll give them every 4 years the opportunity to make that choice, make that decision. Okay. Folks, we have term limits. Anyway, so now, when you consider that tomorrow in the election, the majority of the people who live in Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, California are going to stay home and not vote. Why? Because they don't think their vote makes a difference. Huh. You know that if just one vote had changed in each voting district in the country, Nixon would have beaten Kennedy? Just one vote per district. Nixon. And he wouldn't have had to lie. He wouldn't have had to kind of figure out how to do his deal. So tomorrow, that was a long way to get around to inviting people to go out and vote tomorrow, isn't it?
Wow.
Now, what if there's not a candidate that you feel comfortable voting for?
Write one in.
Me! Just simply say, in fact, what I do when I can't find any good candidates, I'll go down the whole roster of candidates and I'll just write myself in, 20 times. Because the law of averages says, I do that enough, I'm going to win, right? Hasn't worked yet.
Boy, won't you be sorry if it does.
Yeah. If nominated, I will not accept. If elected, I will not serve.
There's a new tactic.
There you go. So anyway, if you want to complain, go out and vote. And when your candidate gets slaughtered, complain that your neighbors didn't get out and cast their vote. Unless, of course, you're for the guy that slaughtered the other guy. And then you can say, see, that's why we're in power, because we get more vote out and we slaughter the other guys. Don't you love America? I do.
It's pretty cool.
It is. It's a great place to live. I hope you're all listening and having fun. If you've got friends that just simply can't join us at 11 o'clock in the morning or on Sunday night, and they feel poorly about it. I mean, I know that many of them go to bed weeping.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they can't get a hold of us. Christopher solved that problem. Let me have him explain to you how he... Now listen, we're not going to go into the homes of your sleepy little friends, wake them up, stick earphones in there, make them listen. So Christopher's got this thing all worked out so that people that can't catch us when we're on can do what?
Catch us anytime they want. Just go to thecraigleavittshow.com and all of our past shows are right there ready for their listening ears.
No.
That is.
Because we realize that a lot of you people out there work. They actually have jobs and families and soccer games and band concerts and plays and bingo. You can't just wipe out bingo.
Oh, no.
Or some of these other things that are part of your life. And so, if you got nothing to do, Thursday night, except prepare for Friday night, sit down with a bowl of popcorn, maybe a pizza, and run through all of the shows of the week.
There you go.
Folks, there's nothing on the radio or there's nothing on television that can even come close to what Christopher and I try to pull off here on the Craig Leavitt Show.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you a little bit about Mesquite. It only took me 40 minutes to begin and end this circle on Mesquite. Mesquite is such a friendly town, and I'm listening to you right now. You folks don't think I can hear you, but I can. And here's what you're saying. But it's 80 miles from Las Vegas to Mesquite. Well, yeah. But it's farther than that from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, and people leave Los Angeles to come gamble in Las Vegas.
Yeah, every day.
So it's too far. There's really not much of an excuse. We've got great restaurants here. We have a lot of fun things that happen here. In fact, the long drive competition was held here. Now, I don't know how bright you folks are out there, but at first I was not sure what a long drive competition was. I didn't know if it was a road race starting in Manhattan and going cross country and ending here. That would be a long drive.
That would be.
That's not what it is. I found that out. Here in Mesquite, golfers from all over the big round thing with lots of water and dirt, earth. People from all over the world come to Mesquite to see who can hit a golf ball the farthest. I'm not in that competition. I golf, but I'm not in that competition. They got great casinos here, 3 of them.
Yeah.
They've got the Casablanca, they've got the Virgin River, and they've got the Eureka. And you would think, well, they'll all be the same, but they're totally different. Each one of these places is a hoot, and it's great. And the food here, I would put on in comparison with just about any in the town around.
It's something.
And I got to tell you, these people up in Utah are going, jeez, it's cold. It's not cold down here, right? So look at the sun out. Blue sky. There's a tree outside our studio window, several of them, and they're all green. A little breeze dancing through the leaves, while the people up in Cedar City and north are going, in a blizzard, where's that snow shovel? And more people up north have to go to church on Sunday to repent from how they behaved themselves and how they spoke shoveling snow. We don't have to do that.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Yeah. And you people in Las Vegas, we love you. Don't get us wrong. We know you're going to go home. Everybody's not going to move here.
Only the smart ones.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Those people that stay in that huge city, hey, you got nothing to complain about. You chose to live there. I love Las Vegas. And we do. We have several friends in Las Vegas. Our show originates from Las Vegas. And we have great supporters. And we adjust a little bit simply because we're promoting Mesquite, Nevada. And it's a great place to be. Don't go back to that. Yeah, but it's 90 miles. Take a bus. I mean, it just is worth it when you get here. Be sure to listen to us every day this week as we promote businesses who are in Mesquite, Nevada, so that when you get here, you'll know where to go and what to do. And this has got to be the first time I've ever been able to tell a huge audience where to go and what to do. No, I've never been able to do that before.
And some of them might actually be listening this time.
Dude. You folks are marvelous. You're just absolutely marvelous. You know, we're starting a really great program called Operation Luck. We talk about it, and we're going to talk about it on just about every show. Because if you got financial problems, maybe you want a job. Maybe you want a different job. Maybe you want a new job. Maybe you want to start your own business. Maybe you have a dream that you want to fulfill. All of these kinds of things you can do, not a problem. Not a problem. But it all takes luck. It takes nothing but pure luck in order to be a success in America. All of you out there that agree with me, raise your hands, because if this was TV and we had a wandering camera, I could see it. But I'm just going to feel the updraft from all of you raising your hands. How many of you out there today, all across our listening audience, which, by the way, goes to the Canadian border, to the border with Mexico from the Pacific Ocean all the way into Colorado and up into Montana, New Mexico. Mexico gets us.
Yeah.
How many of you out there wish you had more money? Okay. Those of you in California, if you wish you had more money, don't go to Las Vegas. Because no matter how long you play, when you leave, you're going to leave there without all the money that you brought in order to win the money, right?
And you might leave with less money than you brought with you.
That's right. And you might learn how to swear. And so you've complicated your sins.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say. If you want more money, you can have it. You can live the American dream. It hasn't gone anywhere. I mean, people stand on a corner with their, please help me. I'm homeless and jobless and could use a little help. And I'm not making fun of those people. But any dream you have, and nobody says, what are you going to do when you graduate from college? Well, I'm going to buy an old torn outfit and write a sign that says, hungry and homeless, help me, God bless you, and that sort of thing. The American dream is alive and well. And just because the government's trying to ruin it, they cannot kill American ingenuity and the American spirit. That spirit is alive, it is strong, and people that want to live the American dream, the energy that they take into that dream empowers this spirit that is magnetic, and it just, it's like a virus. It's communicable. I couldn't think of a different, sorry folks. But it spreads and it empowers, and people are lifted by these successful people, and they get caught in the updraft, and they want to be successful too. So if you want to be successful, if you have a dream, you have a vision, there still is an American dream, and there is a power in America that will make that dream come true if you have enough luck.
That's true. That's what makes America so great.
Yeah. If I was like some of the rich guys, like Mitt Romney and you know, all these other guys that are rich. And the government says, okay, guys, because you have been successful, we're going to take 28 to 50% of everything that you've earned and give it to the people who are at least keeping the sofa making industry alive, because we give them enough money and entitlements that they get to buy a new sofa. If I were a rich guy, if I were a rich man, you know what I'd do? When they said, you're rich, you've worked hard for your money, and so we're going to take it away from you, you know what I'd tell them? I didn't work for it. I was lucky. Who was it the other day? Mitch McConnell, the Republican, was accused of being wealthy. And you know what he did, the little chicken? He said, I didn't earn any of my money. My wife inherited it. It was a gift to us. I didn't do anything to her, I thought. And you might be the president or the speaker of the Senate? Or no, the majority leader of the Senate. Folks, don't earn your fortune. Marry a rich broad and then live off her. That's what I call luck. In America today, luck. Pure, unabashed luck is all you need to live the American dream. Are you people writing this down?
It's 4 letters. That might be a little hard for some of them.
Okay. Now, last night and last week, we gave you an idea of what luck is. Anybody remember what luck is? Let's listen. I'm listening. I'm hearing some rumbling and whispering. No, come on. Say it out loud. Right. Preparation. Luck is when preparation meets
opportunity.
Opportunity. That is luck. Now, that means you got to prepare yourself. This is not Disneyland. This is not the land of Oz. This is the United States of America. And if you want to do something, you got to pay the price. You got to get out and do it. You got to be willing to invest in yourself, invest in your dream, prepare yourself for the time when an opportunity will come its way. And then if you are adequately prepared, and either you make your own opportunity or one comes your way, you'll have good luck. And that's how you begin to live the American dream. Now, Christopher, what happens, do you think, if there's not adequate preparation and a fantastic opportunity comes up?
You totally miss it, or you can't take advantage of it, and you have bad luck.
That's bad luck.
Yep.
Now, my wife had incredibly bad luck because she was prepared. She was over-prepared. She was prepared for somebody tall, dark, and handsome and wealthy, and I was the only opportunity that came by that day, and she thought, well, you know, maybe I can work with him and turn him into something. If you want to be successful in America, you've got to have luck. You've got to be prepared and ready to face the opportunity when it comes, and prepared perhaps to create your own opportunity. People who create their own opportunities are called opportunity creators. But the name that is generally used is entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. That is a person who prepares him or herself to create an opportunity and have the luck by that meeting to be successful and to live the American dream. Really, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, it's exactly what it's about.
Unless you want to do what Michelle Obama, indicated, rely on the government because everything that's good in America comes from the government. Everything that's good in the government comes from Barack Obama, and I'm looking at the facts and figures of the last. I think there's
something's not adding up.
Yeah, no, it's not adding up. But when we've got millions of people in the United States of America unemployed, why doesn't he take responsibility for that?
Good question.
Yeah. Why doesn't he stand up and go, well, I screwed up there? Or what he would normally do is say, this is Department of the Secretary. He screwed up. I didn't screw up. I didn't know we were in such bad shape. I got it off the news the other day just like the rest of you. I had no idea.
I was busy golfing.
I had no idea that our economy was in such bad shape until I read it in the newspaper. Boy, was I ever upset. Somebody's head's going to roll. The only reason we have problems with employment in the United States is not because our government has no idea what they're doing. It's because we got too many American fannies on the couch eating cake and drinking milk or whatever their beverage of choice for cake, and not going out and working. Yeah. That's what's wrong with America. So, I wish all of you luck. And Christopher?
Good luck.
Good luck. See? He's so smart. He improved on what I said, and he generally does. I wish, and we wish all of you good luck. If you're going to sit on the couch anyway, pick up a book. Uh-oh. I mean, read, because ladies and gentlemen out there, I don't even know if you're ladies and gentlemen. Folks, what is required for a person to start changing their life by beginning a course of preparation? You've got to be able to, read. That's a good one, because you can read instructions, you can read, applications, you got reading. So if you're just sitting at home on the couch going, we have to more cake, stop that. And read a newspaper, like the classified ads. And it goes where jobs are available. Don't sit there and go, bring me some more milk. That's not the kind of job I want, people. Oh, my word, I'm going to die. If you don't have a job, then you get a job. And I don't care if it's flipping burgers. I don't care if it's whatever you want, whatever's available. You start working. And then you move up from there. You don't say, well, I don't want entry-level income. I'm smarter and better than that, so I'll just take whatever the government can give me until they can make me a doctor, or until they'll pay me what they pay a lawyer, because they make a lot of money. I'm not moving until I get a better income. Any of this, making you want to just go up and vote today and then do what they did in the Kennedy administration and vote again tomorrow? No, it's okay. I that was just something I slipped in there. Shouldn't have slipped it in there. Please forgive me. I'm sure it's happened in other races too.
Vote early, vote often. Yeah,
vote and be sure to get all the information on a ballot or on the voter registration for your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, people who may not be with us, but who through special oracle means have revealed to you that this is how they would have voted if they had been alive. I don't think anybody cheats.
No,
they don't, and they don't deceive.
Nah, not in this country.
Not in this country. Well, vote. And remember that when you're voting, you're not just voting for the yahoo that's going to get a great salary and sit in some political party, voting not his conscience, but what it's going to take to keep the power. Vote for the man or the woman who will support the American dream and empowering the American spirit.
Hear, hear.
We've had a lot of fun with you folks this morning. Hope you've enjoyed it. Invite your friends, family. The guy out there walking the 3 Labradors, invite him in to listen to our shows. We love doing this, and we want to make a difference. No, we don't. We just want to say what's on our minds, and we hope that after today you'll get the idea that you can also say what is on your mind. Now, if somebody, after we hang up and say goodbye, and we go get a piece of cake and a glass of milk, if somebody has a thought and they want to put it down so that tomorrow we can talk about it,
Here you go.
and how do they do it?
Well, there's a whole plethora of ways. The quick and fast way is give us a call, 775-238-3792. If we're not around to answer, we have voicemail to pick it up, and we'll be happy to hear from you. You can send us an email to interact@thecraigleavittshow.com. That's another great way to get in contact with us. And remember to like our page on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and stay in contact with us through all of our social network means.
That's incredible. And tell all your friends to like us too.
Yeah.
And from Christopher Finnegan and from me, we love you. God bless you and have a great day.
Hear, hear.